Hi, I got this Lightwave bass here. I'm going to be selling it very soon, and before I do, I wanted to make a video about it, both for me to remember it and also just to kind of present the technology, and to talk about it. So the Lightwave bass works in a very different way compared to kind of the traditional electronic basses, such as that Fender Precision I've got back there that has the two classic pickups. This actually detects the string motion and produces the signal using two different techniques. One of them is an optical pickup, which I'm going to be talking about and actually demonstrating here in a second, and another using a piezoelectric technique. And so this is kind of like two different sounds in one. And in addition to the two ways of picking up the sound, they also have lots of different tone controls here. I'll do my best to demonstrate these here in a second. But anyway, you know, I bought this in 2003, shortly after they released this. I thought it was fascinating technology, and this is produced by Lightwave company. And when they were producing this bass, they produced two different models, one called Classica and another called Sabre. And the Sabre is still available from Wilcox, and the Classica isn't available anymore. The difference between the Classica and the Sabre is, if you take a look at this, it's kind of it's almost like, you know, on the Fender Precision it's flat, and this is kind of, I call it italicized, and it's italicized in this direction. And also this kind of comes up and rounds out and hits to a point, sort of like Rickenbacker. So the shape is similar kind of in this area to Rickenbacker, although they've got the nice curves here and here, just like the Fender does. It's really comfortable to play. And so with the Sabre bass, what it is, the italicization is in the other direction, and these are more rounded. To me, it's not as appealing, but you know, to each their own. So I've had this for quite some time. It's just kind of sat in my collection, and I'll demonstrate it here for you. So this is the volume control here, and I'll tell you what, when compared to the basses that have the magnetic pickups, this puts out a lot more signal. So it gets a lot more volume than a traditional bass. So this control here is the kind of the bass control. So, and unfortunately we're recording this on iPhone. It's not a great you know, sound pickup situation here, but I hope you can tell the difference. So that's the bass control. This here is the kind of what they call the mid-range control. And then this control here is what they call a mid-sweep, so you can control the kind of the accentuation of the mid. So I can see if I can demonstrate that on this string. And when I turn the mid, in each of these pots have a center detent, so that you put them kind of in their natural position. So in addition to these three tone controls, there's an additional switch here, which is a warm cool switch, and this is, I typically play it in this position here, the cool. And then here, this adjusts the amount of piezoelectric pickup. So what happens is, in each, at the base of each one of these pickups, there's a piezo element. So there's the optical element and also the piezo element. So the optical element has a very warm tone to it. The piezo has a very cool tone to it, and they call it their ice tone pickup. So if I adjust this, I'll scratch on this just to demonstrate this. So here you don't really hear anything. And if I turn this all the way up, start to be able to hear the pickup sound. So that's the ice tone pickup, and it really picks up like finger motion and string slides and stuff like that. A lot of that really comes through on the piezoelectric pickup. So it's just been a really neat, it's a neat technology. And how I even got this, how I got interested in this, is that we make laser scanners at my company. It's something I've been involved with for about 35 years. And I had an idea of maybe we can use the same optical pickup technology that we do inside a laser scanner to detect position as we can on a string. And so I had this idea, and I looked up in the patent database, and sure enough, these guys had actually beat me to it. So they thought of it first, and it was a neat idea, and their implementation was exactly how I would have implemented it myself. So I'll put this down and demonstrate to you just exactly how this works using some crude elements here just as a demonstration. So I've got a flashlight here. The flashlight creates a field of light, and let's say that this red and blue represents two different sensors. And let's say my hand represents the string. What you'll notice is that my hand is casting a shadow cast by this light source on these two pieces of carpet, these two, we'll call them photodiodes or light sensors. As the string moves to the right, it will cast more of a shadow on this one and less of a shadow on this one. And as my shadow moves, my hand moves to the left, the opposite happens. And so as the string is vibrating back and forth, you have what's called differential signal that you could take off of this, and you can get a very precise signal out of this. So, and actually, what you could do, the Lightwave people didn't do this, but what you could do is actually detect the string motion in 2 dimensions. So one dimension is this, me moving my hand back and forth. The other dimension is this. So as the string is moving closer and further away from the LED, you'll notice that the shadow gets bigger on these 2 sensors. So you can actually detect the string motion in 2 dimensions using this technique. So, so anyway, it was a pretty neat thing to discover this, and this has been in my collection since 2003, and it's just it's been here. I haven't played it much. I pick it up every once in a while just to entertain myself, and it's just time to find it a new home. So that's what we're doing here. One thing I will point out about this bass is it doesn't have any things for the strap. It was delivered to me just like this, and so I guess Lightwave figured out that the fretless basses must be sit-down basses, just like I'm sitting down right now. So you know, so this is it. So I hope you like this. I hope you like this presentation. You know, I've explained the optics, explained how the optics works, how the pickup works. It's got 2 different pickups. What I do find fascinating about this is this. So you'll note that the Fender Jazz bass has a pickup close to the bridge, and then another set of pickups here in the middle, closer to the neck, and they use the neck pickup, same on a guitar. The neck pickups gives you a warmer tone, and the bridge pickup gives you a very cool tone. What's fascinating about this is the entire pickup's all in here. The optics are in here, the LED and the photodiodes are in here, so they're actually at the bridge, and yet this produces a very warm sound from the optical pickup. So it's just fascinating how it works. With the optics having no magnetic element to it, it doesn't pull on the strings. So what is said about these basses is that they have a very long sustain. This is just literally dry. This is not processed in any way. There's no compressor on this, and so I'll just hit this. Let's see, A string here. So these basses have very long sustains, so there's no magnetic element here to add hysteresis to the strings, and basically hysteresis losses and that sort of thing that would prohibit the sustain of the string. So, so that's the presentation about the Lightwave bass. This company was either taken over or bought out or changed their names. They're now known as Wilcox Guitars, W-I-L-L-C-O-X, Wilcox Guitars, so you can check them out. But they're still sold. The electronics are exactly the same. In this particular one, I just changed the battery in it. So, and it's the kind of thing where it's battery operated. There is a charge port here, and you charge it up, and it will last for like 20 hours on a charge. And apparently this LED here, which lets you know when it's plugged in, will start to go out before the battery actually dies. So you do get a little bit of a warning that, hey, it's time to charge again. And actually you can play it with the charger in. That's another thing about it. You don't have to charge the battery and then unplug the charger and then start playing. You can play with the charger in it if you want, use it as a power supply. So that's the presentation on the Lightwave bass. I'm glad you stopped by and checked out the presentation. And you can learn more about these things at wilcoxguitars.com. Thank you very much.